Good morning, students. Your teacher here, Mr. Sarasinski, with another episode of Algebra 1. And this is actually, I should correct myself, this is geometry. And my intention for these this lesson and the next 9 lessons is to prepare you for geometry when you enter. And so just giving you a little head start. Just pay close attention. You'll see all these things again when you begin geometry. So here we go. When we're talking about geometry, I think a lot of people think of shapes and angles, and so here, what I'm about to provide you is just with the framework on how to name things, like the most basic parts of geometry. Okay, so a point is a location. I'm using an old stylus, so my writing isn't going to be the greatest. A point is a location okay. It has no size or shape. And we always use a capital letter to name a point. Example, point A. All right, so then we have a line, and a line is made up of points, multiple, any 2 points, so you must have 2 points to form a line. A line has no thickness or width, and we name a line by any 2 points on the line or a lowercase script letter. So, example, we can name this line XY or line N, lowercase script letter, or line XY, just writing out the word. But that symbol is what represents a line. It's basically just a miniature line with 2 arrows at the end. Okay, so lines are named by collinear points. That means they're on the same line. And then non-collinear points that do not lie on the same line. Okay. A plane is a flat surface. A flat surface, that's a U, made up of points. Any 3 points make up a plane, because if you have 3 points, then it's not a line, if they're not on the same line. A plane extends indefinitely in all directions. Okay, so it extends out, even though there aren't any, I'm drawing the arrows, but it extends indefinitely in all directions. And we name a plane by any 3 non-collinear points on the plane or an uppercase script letter. So this could be plane P, or we could say plane KJL, or plane JKL, or plane LJK. Any of those arrangements would work. Coplanar points are points that lie on the same plane, not line, and non-coplanar points are points that do not lie on the same plane, and there must be at least 4 points in order for that to happen. All right. Where this big line came from, let's get rid of that. Intersecting lines and planes. 2 lines intersect at a point. So 2 lines intersect at a point, and 2 planes intersect at a line. All right, so on this page, it's important for me to say, before we get started, that some of these are going to have more than one answer. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to give you multiple answers, but just remember that you could potentially have something different from what I have. So use the diagram to the right to name the following 4 collinear points. All right, how about H, N, K, and I? Okay. A line that contains point M. Well, that could be line MO. Or we could say line P. Use that lowercase script letter. A line that contains points H and K. Well, I can say line HI if I use the 2 letters at the end, or I can use the lowercase script letter line R. Another name for line Q. Line Q is here. So that could be line JL. Or we could say that's line KL. Using any of the 2 points that are on that line. Okay, or we could say, let's see, KL, JL, JK. The intersection of lines P and R. Well, here's line P, here's line R. So N is at the intersection, so we name that point N. Okay, number 2, use the diagram to the right to name the following. A line containing point F. How about line J? Or we could say line DF. Okay. Another name for line K. Another name for line K, that's that line that's intersecting this plane. We could say that is line BC. Or we could say that's line BE. A plane containing point A. Well, we need to name at least 3 points on the plane. So I'm going to make a little, looks like a parallelogram. And then I'm going to name it by, or you could just write the word plane, I guess. Either way would work. Plane ADE. Plane ADE. Remember, you need 3 points to name a plane. Part D, an example of 3 non-collinear points. Okay, 3 non-collinear points. Well, we just used 3 non-collinear points, ADE, but we can use 3 different ones. We could say AEF. AEF are 3 non-collinear points. Now, E and F are collinear, but A is not. Okay. The intersection of plane M and line K. Well, plane M and line K intersect at point E. Okay. All right, number 3, use the diagram to the right to name the following 3 coplanar points. Well, now we have a bunch of possibilities here, okay? We have this plane on the front of the pyramid. We have this plane on the side. There is a plane in the back, and then there's also a plane over here on the left side, not to mention that it's also sitting on a plane. So we have a bunch of possibilities here. 3 coplanar points. I'm going to use ZVW. Okay, but again, there's lots of possibilities. ZVW, and that's on this front plane. Okay. A plane containing point X. Well, we could use the right side of this pyramid, ZWX, or we could use the base of the pyramid, VYXW. Plane containing, I'm going to use the right side of the pyramid, ZWX. See, plane ZWX. The intersection of plane R and plane ZVY. So remember, planes intersect at a line. So the intersection of plane R and plane ZVY is going to be this line. It's going to be line VY. How many planes appear in the figure? Well, let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the base is 5. And then technically, I think plane R is 6. So I think we have 6 planes. How many planes contain point W? Well, let's see. Erase some of my marks here. Here's point W. So that's part of the bottom. That's part of the front. And that's part of the right side. And technically, we could use point W to name plane R. So I would say 1, 2, 3, 4 planes. Maybe technically 3. Okay. And I would say technically the base of the pyramid and plane R are the same. So we can also just say that's 5. But it's okay. Just want you guys thinking about it. All right, number 4, use the diagram to the right to name the following. The intersections of line L and M. Well, remember, lines intersect at a point. Line L and line M intersect at point E. Okay. Another name for plane Q. Well, you need 3 non-collinear points to name a plane, so that could be IFG. We could say plane IFG. Are points D and E collinear? Let me erase some of my markings here. Are D and E collinear or coplanar? Well, it looks like they're on the same line, but technically we need 3 non-collinear points to name a plane, so this is not a plane. This is collinear. Okay. And then how many times do planes P and Q intersect? Planes P and Q never intersect. 0. Okay. So this is the basics. You guys have a short assignment where you're going to be answering questions just like we did here in this little exercise. Take your time, answer things to the best of your ability, and most of the time you're going to have the right answer here, okay? There's multiple ways, multiple answers in most cases. I am your teacher. This is the way.